Light up a Cremo, a mellow, mild Cremo, a winning smoke by far. You can search every clime, but at 3 for a dime, you can't beat a Cremo cigar. Love, but at 3 for a dime, you can't beat the Cremo cigar.
All right, y'all, we are here with Mr. Walter Santiago of Cremo Cigars, who told me specifically he is not an on-camera kind of guy. So we're going to get him comfortable here. You're amongst friends. All our viewers, everyone has a love for cigars, cigar tobacco, the culture. So you're in a good place, man.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming here to share your story with us, your rollers with us. And your craft, I guess, is the most important part of that, right?
Thank you for having me.
It's absolutely my pleasure. This was always my dream, to build a platform where we could help folks like yourself that are doing great things get the word out.
Thank you.
And so that's where we're at. So tell me a little bit about Cremo, the brand. This is a retro brand.
Cremo Cigars is I would say, the second oldest cigar brand in America.
Wow.
Founded in 1896.
Okay.
By a gentleman called George Washington Hill.
Okay.
It was the largest 5-cent cigar maker at that time.
So let me stop you right there. For the folks at home that have not yet read Stanford Newman's book, 100 Years Tobacco Family, you need to know something. That up until probably the 70s or even the 80s, the going rate for a cigar was 5 cents. That is a thing. If you try to raise the price of your cigar to 6 cents, your sales would decline. It was just the way it was, and it was a big pain for the business because some of these factories were actually losing on that kind of thing. But in order to compete, that's what they had to do. So I'll be honest. I get a ton of cigars sent to me every single day. I had heard your name come up with Eddie and a couple other people. Oh, Cremo, they're sending you something. And I was like, who is this? They're out of Miami. I was like, they're out of Miami. Then I heard they're out of Overtown. I was like, Overtown? Who the hell's hanging out in Overtown? Okay, because I lived down in Wynwood when it was like, just for a little bit. I'm not by no means a native, but I lived down there when I first moved out of New York. And the cars would get broken into every single night. And then once in a while, we were broke. We were broke younger people. And once in a while, after a bar in Wynwood, my friend would dare me to drive through Overtown. And there was this one alley, and he would be like, I swear to you, I'll give you $100 if you drive. And I would never do it because based on everything else, I mean, it was an open-air drug market at one point. I don't know so that whole area has changed so drastically. It's insane.
Overtown has one of the richest histories of Miami. Also incorporated in 1896. That's our affiliation with Overtown. Our brand started in 1896. Overtown was incorporated in 1896. Wow. And we chose Overtown to build our factory. And,
great.
We've been there a little over 4 years now.
Great. And so this is, not to get sound corny in any way, but this is how America gets built, is young businesses that want to save money, right, on overhead so that they can compete with big corporations,
Yes.
move into these places. And if enough of them do it, the economy in that area starts to change, which is what happened in Wynwood.
Absolutely.
Okay, and now it's moving out into places like Overtown, which is just next door.
Well, Overtown is big in preservation. Just to give you a quick history on Overtown, it's known as the Harlem of the South. You had celebrities.
The Harlem of the South.
Yes.
I love that.
You had celebrities like Muhammad Ali, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole. When they came to perform to Miami, Unfortunately, they were they had to
Play segregated clubs.
yes, they
so
were
they would go down
segregated
to
to
Overtown
Overtown.
to play for their people.
And Overtown, that's
so
where
dope.
the party was at.
Yeah.
And we're right around the corner from where they used to hang
Oh
out.
wow, that's
Yes.
so cool, man.
And we love that story.
yeah,
So
it's
we're
great.
we're
It's rich.
Overtown is one of the cities that it's all about preservation, and we love that.
So, how are you bringing this brand back from pretty much extinction, right?
Yes, yes. As I mentioned, it was the largest cigar maker in America. It has a rich story. You can Google it. It's all over Google. They actually created such a demand back at that time that they couldn't keep up with the hand-making cigars, that they had to transition into machine-making cigars.
Right.
To keep up with the demand. That's how popular they became
Yeah.
at that time. And we're actually doing the opposite now. We're making strictly small batch of cigars, 100% Cuban rolled by hand, and we love the journey.
So we talked about that with Johan. I don't know if you've seen it while you're watching this, if you've already seen that, but we're doing a small portion of Privada Customs, which is Privada Customs Instant, which is where we pair up with American-owned factories that are here, and we make you guys custom cigars by hand, typically level 9 roller, Cuban rollers, really special stuff for, you know, true collectors and connoisseurs out there. And so thank you for being a part of that program with us.
Thank you.
That's our honor. And like I said, I kept hearing about, oh, they're going to send you something, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, we get like 40 different samples a day. I'm not bragging. It's just, it is what it is. It's so, I don't say bad. It's great. But it's so crazy that we have a subscription called Test Blends. And what we do is we take all the test blends that people send us and we send them out to these people, because these are active cigar smokers that want to have input. And we send them to them with this card, and they check off little things, and they tell us a score at the end. And if something rates over a certain score, especially from certain people, we pay attention to that and say, okay, let's try that ourselves now, because that's how we know what to smoke. So add Privada Test Blends to your subscriptions every month. It's like $4. So it's super easy and affordable, and it's a way to be involved in the curation process. So these cigars came here. I didn't put them in Test Blends because, again, I don't know if it was marketing, salesmanship, whatever, but a couple of people in my organization told me to look out for this. So I was like, okay, let me show him respect. Obviously, he's interested in, you know, getting the stuff to me. So I smoked this cigar, and I was like, sign me up.
Well, what we hope to do is through your network is to be able to educate the cigar community on what we make. Like I mentioned, we make cigars that are 100% made by hand, completely different than what is primarily in the market,
Yeah.
which are cigars that are imported. Great cigars, great brands, premium tobacco, but the process is completely different.
Sure it is. So we're talking about most of the countries that we buy cigars from use a buncher, and the person who puts the capa on is the torcedero. Is that right, or they're all the torcedero? That's a kind of an old word at this point. I think they made that word when they didn't have it in two different. So handmade cigars are made two different ways. The Cuban way, which is the traditional way, one roller rolls the whole thing, and in DR and Nicaragua and Honduras, they use a buncher and another person that just puts the capa or the wrapper on. And so there's nothing wrong with doing it the other way, but this is the most traditional way. Do you also do triple cap?
We absolutely do triple
Okay.
cap in our Miami cigars, yes.
Yeah, so triple cap is also a very traditional Cuban thing.
Yes.
Nicaragua doesn't do triple cap for the most part. There are a few factories that do, but it's not. It's the more traditional way. This is the original style.
Yes.
And so that's really cool. And so you're in Miami, and so you're finding some of these people that were employees of some of these Cuban cigar companies, like Johan, who was at Partagas. He's a level 9 roller, which I was impressed to hear. Young guy. I also love the fact that he's Afro-Cubano, which is very representative of the people of Cuba. When you look at the factories, there's a lot of different colors of people, basically,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it's the whole range.
Yes.
And I think that's important for all people that make these products to be represented in the product.
Absolutely, yes. All our rollers are Cuban. They're master rollers. They have worked in famous factories in Cuba, and that sets us apart from a lot of the other brands that are out there.
Sure. This cigar is one of the more unique Cuban, Connecticut shade cigars I've ever had.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Thank you.
because I like smoking good cigars.
Thank
So thank you for bringing it to my attention. Why is this, aside from the fact that it's rolled here, are there any other reasons that you would find that this would be totally unique from other things that are rolled in other places?
I say that in addition to the premium tobacco that we were able to get our hands on, that we're able to purchase, definitely it goes back to the rolling skills. I mean, there's a different, when you're smoking the cigar, it does play a big role the way the cigar is crafted.
What about the flavor, though? Because there's something unique.
That's a secret that we will not
Okay,
reveal.
but you're not infusing or treating the
Absolutely.
tobacco in any way. But there are ways of storing it might be, for example, one of the only other factories I know of, and they're in Miami, El Titan, right? Great people, mad respect to Sandy and Giselle. They have a unique thing too, and sometimes I walk into their factory and I'm like, smells different here too. So maybe it's the wood on the walls. Maybe it's the seasoned wood. Maybe it's been there for 20 years, and maybe it does something different when they're storing, those the bundles of tobacco in these rooms.
Well, Cremo Cigars actually started in Miami in El Titan de Bronx. We were there. Sandy made our cigars for 8 years.
Wow.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay,
Sandy
great.
is my mentor. I owe a lot to her. I owe the entrance to this, the entry to this industry due to Sandy. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman, and it's an amazing factory.
Yes.
To me, it's a historic landmark. Like it's a special place.
Willie blended
Herrera,
Willie blended our first cigars.
Okay.
He blended a couple of cigars for us, and we were happy to be part of that journey. We learned a lot from El Titan, and if it wouldn't be for them, we wouldn't be here.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
Who blended this?
We blended it in-house.
Okay.
Yes, we blended it
Okay,
in-house.
so this is like a collective effort, your
Absolutely,
team.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
You're still not
We
going to
do-
answer why this. Listen, when you smoke this at home, you will see what I'm saying. Is it 100% different? No, it's different enough that it's different. I don't know if that makes sense. It's traditional in a sense. It hits on all the parts that you want a cigar to hit on, and if you retrohale, it gives you enough, right? But then there's a unique berry floral something in there that really does it for me. And then there's also some sort of I guess a wood of some sort that it's a special cigar. And so I don't buy cigars often from people that I don't know. And this is one of the first cigars in a very long time that I picked up the phone and said, all right, I want some for the club.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. This is what they pay me for, to go around and find the best cigars in the world. And not for nothing, but this might be my favorite Connecticut right now. So I'm really happy to introduce this to our people. And with your permission or blessing, I'd like to also help contribute to the Cremo brand because I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
I like the fact that it's family owned. I like the fact that you're here in the States and people can go visit you. I think it's important for cigar culture. When you see other craft cultures that pop, you think about craft beer. And what would craft beer be without a brewery in every freaking town across this country? It wouldn't be as popular. And so we need these places where people can go and get a reaffirmed love for this craft. And so I think there's more than enough to go around, and I think that we need more places like Cremo and more brands like Cremo where they're actually making the cigars. mind blower.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, our goal is to, in addition to making premium cigars, introduce people to the history of Overtown, bring people to Overtown. We're already doing it through our factory. We have tons of people that are visiting us weekly. We offer a cigar factory experience. You can come in and make your own cigar. We're here to stay.
I love that. I love that. And we talked about, you guys have a fighting spirit. It is not an easy industry to break into. It is not an easy industry to approach without a ton of capital, right? But it's a passion-based industry, and you see guys like El Septimo where the guy's a billionaire, and that passion is causing him to put a ton of money into this, right? And it's working for his brand, and that's great. And then you have folks like us that have to do it with other avenues of things to bring to the table, the location, the factory, you gotta be a pro and do what you know, right? Like what comes naturally to you. And it's awesome to see passion-based business brands grow, both small and large, that weren't a part of the scene, so to speak, 5-10 years ago. And so that's really cool. And it's been fun for Privada, I think, to watch our club grow within that. And I know how hard that was. And so I'm always looking to reach a hand back and help people, just give them a little nudge forward.
And I appreciate that as a fellow New Yorker.
Yeah. You're from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York.
Boricua.
Yes. Boricua.
All right, we got some Boricuas in the business now,
Yes,
man.
yes,
That's very cool.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Dope. Yeah, man. So I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for contributing to Privada Customs.
Absolutely.
You're going to be our first instant factory,
Thank you.
I love that. That means that you can basically hop on the site and have custom, fresh-made, hand-rolled cigars by a Level 9 roller out the door that week for you, for either a special occasion or your collection. And I think that's pretty baller to have your cigars made custom just for you. I don't know about you guys, but I'm buying a box. So with that said, May, we're going to have Cremo Cigars in the box. You're going to get this amazing Connecticut. Once you've smoked it and you fall in love with it, you can come to PrivadaCigarClub.com and you can buy more of them. Let's remember, these are made in America. These are different, they are unique, and it is more expensive to make cigars here. So I just want to preface that because it's a great story, and it's great to think like, but when something's made here, it automatically gets put in a different category because of that,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for coming and sharing your story with us. I look forward to seeing where you take the Cremo brand, and we're cheerleaders and we're in your corner, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Walter. I
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
you.